What's up, guys? This is Ryan Wolfgang here with
Keegs cosplaying. Alright, guys, how's it going?
and welcome to the Godzilla vs. Kong review. This is
Yep,
a monumental movie for the
both of us. Yeah,
monsterverse.
definitely. And for both of us, definitely, it's exceeded my expectations, and I'm surprised it's exceeded a lot of people's expectations
Yep.
as well. From what I've seen, and from what I've seen, breaking news now that I will share with this, it just passed Wonder Woman 1984.
Of course it did. Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah, it really was not the best. I mean,
Compared to another movie that just came out, but we'll talk about it in uh Pandemic Lounge this week.
yep. Yeah, but we'll definitely talk about that as well. But yeah, in case you guys don't know or haven't been following along, Ryan and I, we both did a trailer reaction to Godzilla vs. Kong. Of course, I'm Team Godzilla, he's Team Kong, and it was just perfect for that. Just perfect for that. And oh, by the way, by the time we're doing this, happy Easter to everyone, and also to happy future Easter or past or whatever how you say it. But yeah, we're recording this on Easter Day for you guys because it was the best day for us to do it.
Yeah.
Because we had just watched the movie and we will I think we could okay to spoil some things, but we'll talk about our topic about it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, where should we start? Because I actually got some ideas of the in-depth story of it, but I think we'll save those for later after we're done discussing the movie and stuff like that. But yeah.
Alright, you go first, bud.
All right. First thing I want to talk about. What did you think about that opening title sequence?
With Kong waking up in the morning, or like before that?
After that, when Godzilla, when it's counting down their victories and losses and their victories, like Godzilla against the Mutos, Kong against the Skullcrawler, and I did notice that he defeated all those monsters. He really didn't technically defeat them unless there's a time skip, because here's a reason why I want to say this. Legendary is actually putting out some new stuff as well. They're putting out 2 comics, one Kong version, one Godzilla version, that are going to be telling the story leading up to this. So I'm wondering if I read, or if we read those, we get a lead up to those events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, back to the scene with Kong and oh yeah, Kong on Skull Island, basically. Yeah, in his protective zone, as I'd like to call it. It was pretty interesting. The music choice kind of threw me off a little bit, unfortunately. But that being said, it did not lay the scene for me as well. Like, I kind of had a feeling that Kong would have been protective or isolated in Skull Island, because it's not like he can really go anywhere, obviously, but it's obviously that Skull Island is still kind of separate from civilization as well.
Yeah.
As well. What are your thoughts, Ryan?
Yeah, I really like the opening scene of the movie where he's waking up and, like, he's basically taking his walk in the morning. It's, like, kind of like me in the morning when I'm waking up, but
Yeah.
yeah. I throw a spear at my window.
Oh my gosh. That was something. I was like, dang, he's okay, so he knows this is fake.
Yeah.
I was like, but then it shows you outside of the compound, and it's like, what the heck just happened to Skull Island? Is there something that we missed? Is there? Yeah, because Skull Island was inhabited at that one point.
Well, I think they're keeping Kong in captivity, like, in Hong Kong.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like, well, actually, yeah, it is kind of like, because Kong was one of the first awakened Titans, basically.
Yeah.
And if we think about it, all the other Titans in the previous movie, Godzilla King of the Monsters, they were being woken up by the orca, that frequency sound that made that signature sound, and then Ghidorah was waking them all up with his call, basically commanding them.
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy. Yeah, which is kind of crazy how they just woke all up and were just changing the world in his image, basically. But yeah, yeah. I think I think we can go on like right on to the next scene. Like right after that is like with Apex. I think when I first heard Apex, I think, do we have a organization that's against the Titans right now?
Yeah, 'cause Monarch is kind of for the Titans, and Apex
Mm-hmm.
is kind of against the Titans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like, I mean, I don't know if you know the spoilers there. I found the spoilers way before the movie trailers revealed anything because of you don't want to know what spoiled me for the main antagonist of this movie? The toys.
Toys?
Yeah, the toys. The
Mm.
toys spoiled it.
They already have toys out for this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, they already had.
Damn. Like,
Yeah, they had ideas for them. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't like. Well, okay. We'll wait till we get to the main antagonist. But the one guy, I'm forgetting his name, who snuck into Apex. Basically, how do you sneak into Apex and like just like you find out what they're doing with this secret stuff, and then all of a sudden Godzilla shows up, which is amazing.
oh yeah, the one black dude that was really annoying.
Hey, he was funny. I think he was supposed to be the comedy of the movie. He was funny.
Yeah, but it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
It was just annoying.
Yeah,
That's
but to be
my take on it, but anyway.
I mean, he's a podcast host at least, and we know he was trying to at least discover what Apex has been up to.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's in Pensacola, Florida, believe it or not. And
Yeah.
Godzilla happened to show up in Pensacola, Florida. What the heck, man? You're attacking. Like, why didn't we get that news that Godzilla was going to be there? We totally missed him being there.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
Godzilla attacks Florida.
Oh my god, like that was something. Like, because here's the thing. Godzilla in the movies, at least in this canon version of Godzilla, his species and himself is supposed to represent a balance or order. That's what Dr. Shirazawa believes. And I think it's whatever they're doing with Apex has been doing. The reason why he's attacking them is because they're causing an unbalance in him. And he's like, hey, this is not okay. This is not a good thing and balance to the world and stuff like that. So that would make sense that he would attack Apex, but it's just very unusual for me to still see him attacking people and stuff.
Yeah. It's pretty weird.
After what we've got of him from his past two movies, of how he's kind of been that protector or that guardian and stuff like that. And so I definitely think in this movie they were definitely trying to make him the bad guy in a way.
Well, in the beginning, but we really know why he's pissed off because
we really know why. Yeah, we'll save it. We'll save it for like when we get to that part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then the CNN news still got me off guard. I'm surprised they still put like the CNN. It's funny, but it was actually like I'm like that's pretty cool. Actually, that's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Like, and then of course we got Madison's character back. We've got her father back as well. I'm forgetting their names unfortunately, but it's cool to see them again. It's cool to see him how he's kind of like wanting to I liked her idea that something was provoking him, and we all know something provoked Godzilla and stuff. And of course, I think what people are agreeing is we need less humans and more monster fighting in this series. And I can agree with that, but
there was definitely a lot less humans in this one.
Definitely. I mean, I felt like there was. I mean, this movie was what, like an hour and 50 minutes or something?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, yeah, and it did have like less humans in it, and had like a lot more showing. And of course, I think that's what they do with like Kong's movies a lot. They show off a lot more. Like Kong Skull Island, they showed off a lot more stuff, environmental stuff like that, and it was all in the daytime, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then, okay, that leads us to our next subject of conversation: Hollow Earth. What do you think of that?
Well, I didn't get it, but I got in the middle of the movie. I'm like, oh, it's Kong's homeland, and it's Kong's like generation thing, and he has axe
Yeah,
that's powered by radiation
yeah.
because
We'll get to that.
spoiler again,
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. We'll get to that.
but
But
that was
yeah, like
awesome.
I thought it was an interesting theory how humans couldn't enter this Hollow Earth idea. If this is where the Titans originated from, then that's the only way they can get in and get out. The Titans are the only ones who can get in and get out, basically.
Yeah,
And it's kind of interesting why when they went in to try and get it, the gravity kind of like changed and they kind of died
yeah,
because it makes sense. It's the planet's way of protecting itself, basically. But we saw what was in Hollow Earth. We saw those creatures and stuff like that. So there's nothing Titan-sized there, obviously, but something probably pretty crazy.
hmm
Yeah. All right. And then that leads us, I think, to wanting to get Kong to the entranceway and to get him to, I think, Antarctica, I think it was, because they had a station in Antarctica.
yeah,
I mean, traveling by boat. Is that not a bad idea or what?
yeah, because Godzilla's gonna catch up with it.
Exactly. I mean, I did like what they said. Like, I didn't like it how they just immediately skipped to Kong being on the boat. I would have liked to have seen like how the process was kind of done in a way. Reminded me a little bit of Peter Jackson's King Kong a little bit.
Yeah,
But that not to say that that didn't disturb me from the movie. I just think that was not a good cut choice in my personal opinion. But what I did like was how like they said they were off Godzilla's territorial routes and he still came coming for Kong. I'm like, what? Why is he even still coming for Kong?
that's because Godzilla does not give a fuck.
Oh yeah. Even though I'm on his side, like, but to be fair, he's like he wants to keep the planet in line, which makes sense.
He doesn't give a.
I mean, we saw how he destroyed those ships easily. He just like whacked his tail of the jet out of the air. I'm like, oh my god, that's crazy.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! Like,
That's
and how he just dragged the ship with his tail, and he just went way down under. You knew what was going to happen, and then he just jumps out in Kong, and then he flips the whole boat over. And I'm glad they released the chains, but Kong was not going to win that fight, obviously, because Godzilla, he's more mobile in the water, and he knows how to fight in the water. That's an old Toho thing as well. Godzilla has been more mobile in the water ever since in the Toho movies, because it didn't even make sense because a nuclear submarine picked up the tracking location, and then Godzilla pinpointed on it, and he crushed it in one of the movies and just destroyed it. So he's more deadly in the water than he is on land.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And just to see Kong like being constricted and pulled down, I'm like, whoa, he's really gonna kill him straight up right off the bat. I think if it weren't for the depth charges, Kong would have been dead. He would have drowned.
Mm.
It was just, and then you saw how exhausted like Kong was when he got back on that boat. He was like, and then of course they shut down everything because they wanted to know, hey, we lost this fight, you win, and then Godzilla just pops out of the water, and it's just like, I don't know if there's a way to describe the emotions on his face. Either he's ticked or he wants to make sure he's won. But it's just like, it's something to just like, yeah, I lost this fight, but yeah, you better have lost because if you do come back, I'm coming for you. And then he just dives back into the water. It's just a crazy first fight, and how they of course, I'm skipping the part where they fought on the aircraft carrier. I mean, like, it was the trailer shot, obviously, but I mean, I feel like that scene was like, was it me or does it feel like Godzilla was kind of and Kong were kind of shortened when they were on that aircraft carrier? Unless the aircraft carrier was a lot bigger than what I thought it was.
You mean like height wise?
Size wise, yeah.
Yeah.
Does it feel like they were shorter or bigger than that aircraft carrier?
Shorter than what they were in the trailer. They looked huge in the trailer.
Yeah, they look huge, but I don't know if an aircraft carrier can hold Godzilla and Kong at the same time. Like, but then again, it's just a movie, so I'm going like the movie route and stuff like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that was still like a pretty good moment. I love how Kong just punched Godzilla, and then Godzilla came up and followed up with a claw strike. It was awesome. It was awesome because we do know that they have an ancient rivalry for some reason, much like him and King Ghidorah, much like Godzilla and King Ghidorah.
Godzilla, yeah. King
Because
Ghidorah.
it must have been because I hear we're getting another movie that's going to be called Godzilla BC, from what I'm told. I don't know if that's the exact movie, but it's going to be Godzilla before all of this starts. So maybe we may get to see more of his race. I'd love to see more Godzillas, just to see, because he may be the last of his kind. And what the war was between him and Kong's people as well, which might be a very interesting way to talk about that and stuff like that. Like, it may combine a whole bunch of theories, which is maybe really cool, actually. But yeah. What's next that we've talked about?
All I gotta say is release the Kong cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where Kong wins at the end.
What?
Release the Kong cut.
Okay. You want to talk about that final fight already?
No, we'll get to that, but I just wanted to get a Snyder Cut reference in there.
Oh, okay. A Snyder Cut reference. Fair point.
Snyder Cut reference.
Fair point. Hey, to be fair, Snyder Cut's cut was really good. It felt like a completely different movie.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that
I
in
loved it.
Pandemic Launch.
We'll talk about that on our podcast.
Yep.
But anyway, I think after they helicopter, you know what? I did fail to mention something, that there's a lot of like references to the old movies, like bringing Kong on a boat, bringing Kong from helicopter. That's kind of how they did it in the original Godzilla versus Kong, and it was really funny at the same time. But I'm like, how many helicopters could lift him? I don't know how many could lift him.
See, you're more of a Toho fan, so you would know that. I'm more of the Americanized versions.
Yeah, because I don't know if you have seen the originals as much as I have.
I haven't seen any of the Japan movies.
Yeah, so that would make sense.
Except for Shin.
Yeah, Shin was pretty good. Yeah, it all goes back to the different eras, like the Heishi era, the Millennium era. Like, if you watch those, like, you kind of get the reference of really what Godzilla is. And Kong was... we got to remember, he was an original American monster movie.
Yeah.
And then Japan did some versions of him. I think they did Kong versus Mecha Kong.
Yeah.
That was something. Yeah, that was something. I was like... I think I watched that movie a long time ago. I was like, what am I watching? Just a monkey in a rubber suit. Just a monkey in a rubber suit.
Monkey in a rubber suit. Yeah.
Well, a guy in a rubber suit, basically, but yeah, okay. Back to that. We're missing a part. I do like how when Kong was like being told by his little companion, of course, I did like how they were able to like make not force him to go in, obviously, but just make him like say, hey, there might be others like you if we go down there into Hollow Earth, stuff like that. Hey, there might be more like you in a way.
Mm.
So, of course, that free fall though into this other world, it's like, what the heck is going on? And then like, as soon as they were all safe and everything like that, and it was pretty cool how they just jumped right into there, of course, but it was amazing.
Yeah,
Like it,
slow-mo.
like it, like it felt like how that submarine followed Godzilla into how we basically followed Godzilla to Godzilla's lair in King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
That kind of felt like the very same thing. So maybe there is some relation in there.
Mm.
I'm thinking there is some relation there because Godzilla's got a temple in some other known space or something, and we're seeing on these murals of these monsters fighting each other and stuff like that. So what does it mean? Does it mean that these things did roam the Earth, and did they not stay at Earth sometimes?
Hmm.
Who knows?
Who knows?
We won't know until we get a confirmed movie of them when they were back then, and I'd love to see all the money they make off that movie. But
Yep.
anyway, um, as for like, what do you think of the creatures that attacked the little mini ships when they were following Kong? Those
Uh,
two big serpent creatures.
those were in Skull Island, correct? Kong Skull Island.
No,
The,
not these ones.
oh, I
Not
thought
these ones.
you were talking about the ones in the basement of the thing.
Oh yeah, those skull crawler
Yeah.
eggs. Yeah, that was something. So that was something. I was like, how the hell did they get their hands on skull crawler eggs?
Yeah.
Unless they got them from Skull Island somehow.
They
And then they were
must have had
transporting
those
them to
in
Hong Kong.
Kong Skull Island.
Yeah, they had skull crawlers and stuff. But I'm like, oh my! I was like so surprised to see like skull crawler eggs. I'm like, wait, what? They're still around? Well, then again, they
Yep.
are an ancient race, so they're part of the ancient race. So they may have come from Hollow Earth.
Yep.
But what was really, but those creatures that Kong was fighting, those two creatures, they're called war bats for a reason. I don't know why they're called war bats, but they're more serpent-like. I love how Kong just grabs one of them
And
and he just
flips them
smashes the
around.
head
Yeah.
against,
Yeah.
yeah, and he just flips them around.
That.
And then, of course, the second one, he grabs it and then does what like Hulk does to Loki, just smash and smash, and just rips its head off. And then, of course, he just eats its guts.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was
wow.
awesome. Like, awesome.
That was like
A
crazy.
lot of really cool fight scenes in this film.
Oh yeah, definitely. There were a lot of good. I think it takes more inspiration from Kong's. Well, we're because we're following Kong more, I think, than Godzilla, of course. But it's definitely like showing more of that style, and I like that actually a lot.
Yeah, more of that action-packed, like, monsters, like, fighting each other. What we want to see from a
Hmm.
MonsterVerse film.
Yeah, and in the daylight, believe it or not, I will say that in daylight,
Yeah.
because the past couple movies have been very dark. Not that it's a bad thing, but you can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then yeah, when they got to Hong Kong, and when we got to Hong Kong, when we found out where the skullcrawler eggs were going, we found pretty much where these skullcrawler eggs were going. They were going to some facility, and I thought they were going to test experiment on them. But lo and behold, we got revealed to. I can't believe they really brought this thing to the legendary to legendary. I mean, I can't believe legendary actually built it. Mecha Godzilla.
Mecha Godzilla, baby. we
Yeah,
we guessed it in the trailer
yeah.
though.
Yeah, you and I guessed it. We totally guessed it, and we were right. And I will say this: the toys spoiled it as well.
Yeah.
The toys did spoil it, and I was like, no way. I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm done. So this is gonna be a Batman v Superman type thing.
Yep. And that exactly it was.
It was, except Superman didn't die in this one.
Yes. And then had to. I don't. Okay.
All right, but yeah, the fact that when I heard like they were using a neural link to
Dr.
operate it, I'm like thinking,
Sarazawa, yeah.
yeah, I'm thinking this is Dr. Shirazawa's son or something like that, because the original Dr. Shirazawa died saving Godzilla, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, what? He's using okay, and I'm like, okay, this is totally Pacific Rim right now.
Yeah. Already playing one.
Yeah, or yeah, Neuralink and everything, because he was neurally linked to it. But even so, they were not at like full power capacity with it, and he just blows that skull crawler straight in half. And I'm like, ugh, that's a pretty powerful weapon.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm kind of glad we saw why. In the next scene, we see Godzilla, and we see he's upset because he's like, something's wrong. I know something's wrong. I got to protect my image, and this is copyright infringement against me. So I gotta protect my image.
Copyright!
I know, right? Oh, I gotta get that scene now. I gotta do that scene as a meme right now. Just have Mechagodzilla like beeping and stuff like that, and the next scene have Godzilla like swimming as he roars back. It's like copyright infringement.
Copyright! Put like
Oh.
YouTube logo on his face.
Oh my god. Yeah, yeah, that would be amazing. That'd be so amazing. Oh my god, that'd just be a perfect meme. But yeah, and then I'm glad we know like of course because they're in Hong Kong, Godzilla's gonna head to Hong Kong and he's gonna stop this menace once and for all.
Yeah, but then
something that's been bothering him.
Kong comes up and he's like, the fuck you in my containment unit for? And then they start fighting again. And
yeah, I was like, when Kong and the others, when they finally got to whatever that structure was, I was like, who made this? Did they make this, or did humans make this? And then we do realize there was a war, but and then we see like a axe, and it looks like it has Godzilla's spike in it. So I'm wondering, is this a previous Godzilla that Godzilla and Kong species, did they have an alliance with each other against something?
Yeah, I didn't think they were setting up for a prequel.
No. No, I hope they do though. But I hope they do. Because I want to know. I still want to know more. I still get left with mystery, and I want to know the mystery.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And then I love when Godzilla, like, you see him just look up at the camera as he's charging up, and he just blasts straight down, straight down into the earth. I'm like, oh my god. He's gonna blast straight down to where Kong is, and then after he does, he just roars down that, and then of course the camera inverts and stuff like that, and then Kong roars too. He's like, oh my god. He's like, hey buddy, I'm here.
I like the shot where they're both roaring at each other, like.
Yeah, that was an awesome shot. I was like, that's awesome. Yeah. But I was like, wow. Yeah, and then Kong grabs the axe, and you know what? One of my favorite what the F moments is in when they are starting to shoot Kong, and then Kong grabs that little vehicle, looks inside it, and then when she's asking no, and then he just crushes it. It's so satisfying. So satisfying. Because that woman who worked for Apex was his daughter, was that guy's daughter. Bitch.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what happens when you don't treat nature with respect. You get crushed.
Nature bites back, baby.
Yep, in a big way too.
Yep.
But I loved how when Kong he grabbed the axe and he just went down the hole. Of course, gravity is going to invert as well, but it's kind of an interesting theory how the gravity inverts as well, which it's kind of interesting theory actually, and I like it. I like it a
Yeah.
lot.
Like it a lot.
Like they bring. So yeah, I love it when Kong just comes out of that hole and he just roars at Godzilla, and Godzilla like looks back. He's like, "You really want?" It's like it's two things I'm thinking. You either want to tango with me again, or is like, "Oh, I got to do this again."
It's on, bitch.
That's what I felt. And that's pretty much yeah. It's all, and then that's what Kong was like saying. And then they just charged at each other, and then it just became an
Yeah.
all-out brawl, man. Holy crap!
Yeah, it
It
was
was
like
like something. Kong was actually gonna grab Godzilla's jaw and like open it, and he was like trying to stop him from breathing his atomic breath and everything. Oh my god!
and
Like
the axe scene where he just like Snyder
yeah,
cuts.
yeah. He shoved it. He shoved it into his mouth. He shoved well, not the axe, of course. But he shoved the staff portion of it. He shoved it into his mouth, and it charged up the axe. That was incredible. I
Yeah.
was like, wow. He hits Godzilla. He hits Godzilla in the thigh. Godzilla just pulls it out like it's nothing and just throws it into a building. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, these guys mean business right now. But yeah, it's clear without that axe, Kong would have had some trouble.
Yep.
But I think there was more of a purpose to that axe that we'll get later on. But yeah, and what I think was really, really, I mean, really interesting is how Godzilla was just breathing his atomic breath so much. Kong was just zipping and dodging. It was just like, this is insane right now. There's Kong's just dodging. And actually, Kong got hit. He got hit
Yep.
by it, too. And if we have to think about it, I did a calculation, and thanks to the site and information I looked up, they have concluded that the temperature of his atomic breath is about 500,000 degrees Celsius. That's a lot of zeros.
That's pretty hot, baby.
That's past the boiling point. Extremely past the boiling point.
Mm.
But yeah, like, it's like, what the heck are we... It's like, what the heck are we gonna do against that? Like, and Godzilla, like, nicked him, too. He didn't, like, actually completely blast him, and I think that's why they, like, didn't tell him being, like, completely blasted and stuff like that. But I did love how he just got the axe, and whoops, I hit my light by accident. It's okay. I just, he grabbed the axe, he grabs his axe, and as Godzilla's blasting him, he just tries to block it. It's just something like, what the heck? He's charging up the axe, too. It's like, it's an all-out brawl.
Best scene in the movie.
I believe so, yeah. Did it feel like there was a little bit, like, no weight to them fighting a little bit, you think?
It was like a video game, like a PS2 kind of like video game, excuse me, where like it was weightless. You didn't really feel the
Yeah, you didn't
punches.
really feel... Yeah, you really didn't feel it. Maybe that was the intention, because it was supposed to be like a brawl, maybe?
Yeah.
Or something. But it seemed like neither Kong or Godzilla, like, they had really much trouble with each other until, like, Godzilla actually gets the advantage on him, grabs his arm, throws him, and you hear a crack. He dislocates his shoulder. I'm like, holy, you just dislocated his shoulder. I'm like, what?
I mean, Godzilla beat him up so bad that Kong almost died.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing. Godzilla was scratching at him. I feel like, yeah, he hurt him a lot, but I feel like he didn't kill him enough or hurt him enough to make him almost die. Like, I didn't feel that way. Well, I mean, he did have his chest scratched a lot and his a foot, like, on his chest, like, being crushed in.
Yeah, that was kind
It's
of a
like,
loophole. Like, why would his heart stop beating if Like, it didn't look like
Yeah.
a beat 'em up that
Yeah,
bad.
he didn't. No, he was just, and I think that was the point. And then Godzilla's like, he just looks down at him and then roars at him, basically saying, "Submit."
Yeah,
That is basically the line. That is basically
release the
submit. And of
Kong
course,
cut. Release it.
you think Kong might have an actual cut?
There's a
Who's
cut
gonna take on like?
out there
You think
of
so? You think so?
Kong winning. There's footage. I'm calling it now.
Yeah.
Blu-ray
Okay.
release.
Okay. To be fair, your buddy did win back in the original Kong,
Yeah.
supposedly. He won. Like,
That
that
worked.
wasn't really confirmed because no one really won or lost because they both fell in the water. But they ultimately say Kong won that fight.
Yeah. But there were two different versions of that movie. There was one in Japan where or Godzilla won, and there was one in America where Kong won.
Oh, I didn't know that one, actually. Oh, right, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that sparked the debate. Well, there's a clear winner here, and Godzilla took the cake, I think.
Yeah, Godzilla kicked Kong's ass.
I mean, we saw what he did. He just, like, basically was like, but he didn't kill him. He didn't kill him.
I admit it.
I mean, like, to be fair, Godzilla, like, he gave, like, a head nod. Like, I think he may have respected him enough to, like, say, hey, I don't want to kill you. You're not my main enemy. You're not who I have beef with.
Yeah, I had beef with Mechagodzilla.
And then, of course, yeah, he goes later on, and then I didn't like how Kong was, like, really like, okay, wait. He's dying now? Wait, what?
Yeah, that was a loophole in the movie that I didn't think was needed.
Like, his heart was slowing down, yeah, but he was dying? I mean, he got, like, a little grazed by the atomic beam, and he got his arm dislocated, yeah, but, and his belly scratched up, but...
Well, they had to make it like, oh no, it's dramatic. He's gonna die.
Uh-huh.
Not every movie has to do that.
Nah, but, hey, this was more of a, more yeah, it's supposed to make it a little bit dramatic.
Yep.
And, I think we can get back to, of course, where Apex has gotten that atomic energy from the core center.
Yeah.
Once they got that energy source, they put it into Mechagodzilla, and lo and behold, when our heroes are trying to find out what's going on with Apex, they find King Ghidorah's head.
Yep.
Yep. From the post-credit scene. Yep, from the post-credit scene of King of the Monsters. I think that's the same head, because all of the other King Ghidorahs were blasted into smithereens.
Oh, wait a
Godzilla.
minute. That was post-credit scene of King of the Monsters?
Yeah, Godzilla rips one of the heads off in the water of King Ghidorah. That's why he grows back one of his heads.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I should have watched all of them before this.
I had a very good memory of most of them, but yeah, I went back and watched a lot of clips and stuff, some resoundings.
Yep.
But yeah, anyway, back to this. And I know we're getting off topic, but yeah. Once they got that atomic energy, I was like, they were trying to do the neural link system, and then it failed. And lo and behold, King Ghidorah took over.
And Mechagodzilla was his old man.
Yep. To be fair, this actually happened in one of the previous Toho movies.
Yep.
I'll explain it, because in Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, this was the third Mechagodzilla installment. The Japan was actually wanted to build a super weapon to fight Godzilla, because another Godzilla came back. So the Godzilla that's threatening them is the second one of its kind, and they find the first Godzilla from 1954. They find his skeleton, and they use it to make something like Godzilla, building a bio-robot, basically. But when they created it and made the computers for it all, when Godzilla roared at it, it remembered that it was Godzilla. How crazy is that?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it remembered it was Godzilla, and then just using this new body it had, it was just going to destroy everything until it ran out of power.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that was so. I think there's the similarities there. Yeah, there's the similarities there, which is pretty cool. And what's the thing about Mechagodzilla is the other Apex guy is like, oh crap, and then it just, of course, the crash moment. You got to have the kill moment, and then Shirazawa's brain gets fried right in the middle of the skull of that thing.
Yep. Because King Ghidorah's back, baby.
Yeah, he came back. He came back, and he had a new body.
Yeah.
And I love how, like, I thought the design was really cool. I'm not a fan of Mechagodzilla, like I've said before. I'm not a fan of him, but he is just a very, very, he's one of those iconic villains. I remember when he was first made by Aliens originally, and then, yeah, and people made him, and I was like, this is kind of stupid. It was kind of realistic when Aliens made him.
Well, now we need Godzilla vs. Kong versus Xenomorph.
Like, that's gonna end well.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna totally end well.
Can you imagine though? Like, wouldn't that be an awesome movie?
I think it would be cool if Godzilla was a alien xenomorph. I think that'd be a cool concept. I've seen that concepted a couple times. So I'm
Cool.
like, that looks like such a sick design, actually. Yeah, I definitely believe that maybe that could happen. So yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, back to, yeah, basically King Ghidorah is taking control of Mechagodzilla, and like we basically are screwed now, and he just breaks out of there, and Godzilla's like, it's now morning at this point. It's morning at this point, and Godzilla sees off in the distance of these lasers being fired off this Apex complex, and he just breaks out of it, and he's just laying waste to everything because it's not. And you know what? I'm kind of glad that it wasn't the people fighting Godzilla. I'm glad it was just a mechanized version, or at least King Ghidorah taking control of it.
Yeah.
That was something.
But Shirazawa at first was fighting him, so yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't like. I'm thinking maybe he is the previous Dr. Shirazawa's father.
Yeah.
Or son. Son, I mean. Yeah, son. Because, or son, a relationship there, because I think he probably didn't agree with what his father had to say about Godzilla and stuff like that. Maybe that's why he kind of had that grudge, maybe. But we have to remember, his father gave his life to save Godzilla, to save us all from destruction.
Yeah.
In order to do that, we needed to save Godzilla. That was the thing. Yeah. And then, but the rocket, I love, if you can clearly tell Mechagodzilla is more upright. Like when I saw him like running at Godzilla, I felt like it was definitely more of an upright look. And then he just shot missiles out of his back. I'm like, oh my god, he's got guns. And then all of a sudden, like he was just getting these powerhouse hits on Godzilla. I'm like, what is going on? Is Godzilla seriously gonna get his ass kicked again?
By Mechagodzilla, all things.
Yeah, by his mechanized version. He's got to protect his image, man.
Yep.
I did like, okay, it was pretty interesting the way how he was attacking them. Like, he had jets and everything. It's like King Ghidorah, like, took control and, like, knew everything and just, like, basically used his own body. I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be silly. But Godzilla was kind of getting his ass beat for quite a while. Until Kong showed up. Like Mechagodzilla, like, grabbed his head and slammed him into a building once, twice, and then 3 times. I'm like, wow, how is Godzilla still standing after this? And then, of course, he was going to do the signature move. He tries to open Godzilla's mouth and then blasts straight down the mouth, kind of like how he did with the Muto. But then, lo and behold, your boy comes to save the day.
Comes back to life.
Yep.
Thanks to the humans.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty cool. Well, they had to jump start his heart, so that was pretty cool how the vehicle kind of like jump started him, and he's like, my shoulder dislocated, slams it against the building, and then rotates it back into place,
And then
and
he's
then
like, mm.
yeah, he's like, I'm ready for round two, and then he just grabs Mechagodzilla's head and just like it just blasts into the sky, and then Godzilla's like looking like what, and I'm like, you owe him now, buddy. You better owe him now
and
because
then
he just saved your butt.
and then the best scene in the movie, Godzilla recharges the axe, and I was like, oh shit!
Yeah, I knew that was coming a mile away. Like, yeah, recharge the axe, dude, and then they're just like, as they're fighting him. I like how it's a wrestling match, and I love it. It was just amazing.
This was
Because
basically
Godzilla, like,
Godzilla King of the Monsters PS2, the
yeah,
movie.
pretty much, pretty much, because Godzilla grabs him, and then Kong grabs him, and they push him through a building, and I'm like, yes, that's teamwork right there. And then, of course, I think Mechagodzilla, well, slash King Ghidorah, was going after Godzilla a lot more. I think that was the reason there, because I noticed him going after him a lot more, and like Kong was getting in his way. Like his tail was like rotating and stuff. I'm like, what? I was like, and then of course like whiskey saves the day, and like just pouring it on the console, and then just like, of course, that saves the day for us.
Oh yeah, that was stupid. That was dumb.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to our Godzilla vs. Kong review. I'm sorry, I had to take a break for a second.
Yeah, it's all right, Ryan. Yeah. Yeah, so we kind of compiled our notes of what happened. I think we were in the middle of talking about that awesome team up fight between Godzilla and Kong versus Mechagodzilla
Yep.
slash Ghidorah. Yeah, that was still something. I love how like Kong was holding back the tail, and then Godzilla, using his atomic breath, he charges up the axe. That was the coolest thing.
That was the coolest scene in the movie.
One of the coolest scenes was the charging up of the axe. He's like, take what's last of my power, and then Kong just smashes that tail, smashes the legs and everything, and then just smashes, and then he just straight up does coming down, and it's just like awesome. And then he does a finishing move where he grabs the head and then just rips it out.
Yeah.
And then just roars.
Scorpion.
It was just awesome. It was just awesome. That was a moment like to remember, was like just ripping out the head, and then there we go.
Scorpion wins fatality.
Basically that. Yeah, basically just a straight up Mortal Kombat kill. Right? Yeah, they kill these things. Yeah, they know how to kill these titans in very vicious ways.
Cool.
Yeah, and then of course I think, skipping the human part, basically, of course we know Maddie gets back with her dad and everything's okay, trying to relay information and everything, and then Kong and Godzilla, just like, what do we think that we have at this ending scene right here? What do you think? Is just like, you think this is like, are we cool, or are we like, truce, man, we're done fighting?
Mutual respect, I think, but there's definitely going to be a return to this.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Who will they fight each other, or will they be on each other's sides? Like, hey, I got your back, you've got my back. Kind of thing.
I don't know. Again, Godzilla doesn't give a fuck, so.
Well, in this movie, he didn't. At least he was more about like, hey, to be fair, at least when Kong put his axe down, Godzilla did the same thing. He left.
Yeah.
He left back into the ocean.
I think it's like, we're cool, but we'll pick this back up later.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then, of course, they moved Kong to Hollow Earth. Like, it felt like such a cut there from when, like, he just returned to the ocean till... I feel like that's where you should have ended it. And the post-credits scene would just be, like... Because there was no post-credits scene for this movie, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yes. And I stayed.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, and then there was the I forget the song that was playing, but I thought it didn't fit with it for me. It was just like, yeah, Kong's in a new home, he's okay and stuff like that, and he's in Hollow Earth.
Yeah, that song choices, other than the actual score, I didn't really like that much.
Yeah, I think it's just the only ones, the beginning ones and the beginning one and the ending one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind
Yeah,
of
other than that,
jarring. Yeah,
yeah, other than that, it was fine. Like other than that, it was fine. Score was fine. Like it was just pretty crazy. I mean, it's like it's like such a thing to come back to after King of the Monsters as well. Like we just got back like from almost monsters trying to destroy the world to this, and it's just like wow. But
so
yeah,
a star rating, what is it for both of us?
I would give this. Would you give it a 5 or a 4? I'm leading towards if I give it a 5, I feel like I'm favoritisming it too much.
Uh, I'm gonna give it a
Kind of
3.
tough. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3 too.
It was a serviceable MonsterVerse movie, but I recommend you
Hmm.
go see it. But it was
Yeah, yeah.
kind
We have from from us to you. We recommend you go see it definitely because it's not really like supposed to be like the most great thing. It's supposed to be fun and enjoyable,
yeah,
and that's what I think people will like is that it's fun and enjoyable. And if you're a fan of the original series or anything like that, or if you're a fan of this series and the original series both, you're gonna love this movie. I think
yeah.
there could be worse
But
out there, and
but it's not Justice League.
no, no, it's not. It ain't no Justice League, and it ain't no original Godzilla as well.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we both give
but
it
yeah,
a 3-star rating.
yeah.
It
I
was
mean,
a
yeah,
good movie. It was serviceable.
mhm. Yeah, definitely worth it to wait for all that delay of the pandemic and everything like that. Definitely worth so many delays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Definitely worth. I think what we got is like kind of a satisfactory of what we were kind of expecting from this movie.
And a good return to the movies, money wise.
Yep, a whole lot of moolah. Like I think it's yeah, it's just past Wonder Woman 1984, which had a lot of money. I think it's $42 million. I could be wrong with that number by the time this video's up, but it could be a lot more by the time that this video's up. But
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean,
but what I'm most excited for is the next movie that's coming out, and we all know what that is.
we all know it is. It's coming out April, and it doesn't end. It doesn't. It's not for kids. I will definitely say
It
not
is
for
not
kids
for
at
kids at all.
all.
So,
And
that,
if any of you know if any of you know what we're talking about a special trailer that was especially it's M rated and it had a red band trailer for a very good reason.
yes, very good reason.
So yeah,
And
we are
and we're excited for that movie. So, yeah, we'll
yeah, we're excited for that. But we'll talk more about that when we get to our podcast for
and
you guys. So
Pandemic Lounge episode 2, which is coming out this week, and probably
mhm. Yeah, when we get to it, yeah.
when we
But
get
yeah,
to it.
like okay, before we go, do we have any thoughts on like the world of Hollow Earth or the background building for Godzilla and Kong and stuff like that?
Well, yeah, I would like to see a prequel going into, like, before all this happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to know, like, because we do know from Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and we do know from this movie as well that there may have been not just there were humans, judging by the cave paintings that we all found, or that Monarch has found, those cave paintings. It proves and suggests that what we are seeing is we are seeing these creatures interact with humans, but humans building these structures for them as well, and
Yeah.
how they're able to get to where they were in the first place. For Hollow Earth, for example, they're able to pass through and go through. But in King Ghidorah's case, we all know he was an alien, so that's why he doesn't fit. He's not among them. He's just an alien basically, which is kind of the cool thing, and I like that still originates with him. But I would very much like to know the beginning of Godzilla, like not our Godzilla, maybe a different Godzilla protector, and then we get to see the beginning of how we see our Godzilla and how his role in the world comes into being and stuff, and
Yeah.
how he and the Kong species, if they may have fought a war, what made them fight together? Maybe fight together is my question. To fight a greater enemy is my
Yeah.
question.
I would like to see the war between the Godzillas and Kongs.
That might be a crazy war. Just a lot of Godzillas are releasing atomic energy and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and then of course Kong's going in fighting. It'd be something. It definitely would be something.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, I definitely got to read the comics now for this movie because they released some information that's going to be previous to the movie, of course. So that may be interesting to see.
Yeah.
And they've got like a bunch of other stuff for them. Like China's opened up a mall with a bunch of Godzilla vs Kong stuff for kids and stuff like that. They've got kids books even, which I really like that actually. I'm glad they're appealing it to kids, which is great. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like, and of course we've got like the war bats. We've also got the other creatures that were in Hollow Earth that were very interesting that I really want to know about and stuff like that. But I feel like as more and more of this movie comes out, we'll definitely know more and more of the information and stuff like that. But anyway, I think we're gonna wrap up pretty much our just overall excitement / our saltiness of a loss and me of faction of a win.
I'm not salty at all, dude. I think it was a
You
good
sure you're
fight.
not salty? You sure you're not?
It
You
was a
sure you're
good
not
fight,
salty that
man.
Kong lost? Hey, Kong lost. I'm just saying.
Release the Conquest! Blu-ray
Oh,
release! Release it! I win!
then we'd be even because we technically we'd be even.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man, that'd be something.
Anyways, guys, this has been Godzilla vs. Kong review. The last thing I have to say is I like the companion in the movie. Like, the fact that they got a deaf actor was pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
And the
yeah, and an actor who is
and the
an actor who's like that who's
representation
able to
of
communicate with Kong.
disabilities was really cool.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I can't believe I forgot about that. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that will also play a very strong way into it as well, especially for you and me.
I really like that. But anyway, this has
Anyway,
been the review. Stay tuned for more collabs
yep.
between Ryan Wolfgang
Keep cosplaying art, guys.
and we will see you next time.
Peace.